Welcome to this video. In here, we're gonna do some sampling practice. So we talked about the sampling methods in previous videos, so I think it will be necessary to practice more. So I'm gonna walk through some practice problems with you in this video about sampling techniques. So the directions is for each scenario below, identify which sampling method is being used, choose from the list below. So those are the sampling techniques we have here. First one, a researcher assigns each student in the school a number and uses a random number generator to select 100 students to complete a survey about school lunches. So pretty clear this will be an SRS because it says random number generator, that's a hint. Second, to evaluate school spirit, the principal randomly selects 25 students from each grade level and asks them questions about upcoming events. So a hint for this question is each grade level. That should remind you about stratify, random sample. Third, a teacher surveys the first 30 students who arrive at school in the morning to learn about their homework habits. So this will be a convenient sample. It will be convenient to the experimenter for the teacher, but it will lead to bias. Fourth, a company emails a survey to all its employees asking for feedback about workplace culture. Only those who choose to reply are included in the results. So this will be a voluntary response sample, since only the people who choose to reply. Well, what about those people who choose not to reply? Fifth, a statistics student stands outside a movie theater and asks every 10th person who walks in whether they prefer comedies or action films. This will be a systematic sample because there's a pattern right here. This should be a hint. Every 10th person. Six, a polling organization divides a city into neighborhoods and randomly selects 5 entire neighborhoods. Every household in those neighborhoods is surveyed. This will be a cluster sample because the organization divides a city into neighborhoods, which means each cluster have similar characteristics, so it doesn't matter which one you pick, and in this case, it randomly selects 5. 7. To study sleep habits, a researcher uses a random number generator to select 100 names from the school's full student roster. This will be a SRS because there's a random number generator. 8. A political science class surveys all students in 2 randomly selected history classes to estimate the proportion of Greek students who are registered to vote. This will be a cluster sample because surveys all students in 2 randomly selected history classes. The cluster are similar, so if you randomly select 2, it doesn't matter, it will still be representative for the whole population. 9. To find out what teachers think about new grading policies, the administration emails a survey to all staff members. Those who are interested respond. This will be a voluntary response bias. 10th, a grocery store manager wants to understand customer satisfaction, so she interviews shoppers she sees in the store during her shift. This will be a convenient sample because she only examined the people who the people she saw. So what about the people who she didn't saw? That will lead to bias. 11. A coach divides athletes by sport and randomly selects 5 players from each sport to ask about team funding. This will be stratified random sample because it divides athletes by sport first and selects 5 players from each category, from each stratified, so it will be a stratified random sample. 12. A researcher chooses a random starting point in a list of residents and then selects every 20th name after that for inclusion in the study. This will be a systematic sample because every 20th name. 13. A science teacher wants to survey students in her classes. She randomly picks 2 of her 6 class periods and surveys every student in those 2 periods. This will be a cluster sample because she picks 2 of her 6 class periods. We can assume that all of the class periods are similar to each other, so it doesn't matter which one she picked. 14. A news station posts a poll on its website asking viewers whether they support a new law. This will be a voluntary response bias. And 15. A researcher separates a population by gender and randomly samples equal numbers of males and females to compare fitness levels. This will be a stratified random sample because it separates population by gender. So there's 2 categories and they select equal numbers from each category. 16. To estimate average commute times, a transportation planner surveys the first 100 people she sees at downtown bus station. This will be convenient simple because she only surveys the first 100 people she saw. 17. A team of researchers randomly selects one of 10 city blocks and interviews all residents on that block. This will be a cluster sample because the researchers randomly selects one of 10 city blocks, and we can assume that the city blocks are similar to each other. So it doesn't matter which one she pick. I mean, I keep saying she, but it's a group of people. A student interested in study habits asks everyone sitting near her in the library to fill out a short questionnaire. This will be a convenient sample because she only asks the people near her, physically near her. A radio show host asks the listeners to call in and share their opinions on a proposed curfew law. This will be a voluntary response sample because the radio show host only asks to the listeners. Well, what about the people who does not listen to it? Like the people who listen to it and agree to record their response maybe have more maybe they have more factors to force them to do it, so it will lead to bias for the value. A university researcher selects every 50th student ID number from an alphabetical list of the student body to participate in a study. This will be a systematic sample because it's every 50th student ID. 21. A large high school is divided into academic departments. The principal randomly chooses the English and math departments, and all teachers within those departments are surveyed. This will be a cluster sample because, first of all, it has been divided into 2 academic departments, English and math, and all of the teachers in the departments are surveyed. So it really kind of like a census actually, but it will be more like a cluster sample because every individuals in the category are similar to each other. It doesn't matter which one you pick, so even though you pick all of them, it will still be a cluster sample. 22. A researcher assigns every registered voter a number and uses a random number generator to select 500 voters to contact. This will be a simple random sample, SRS, because it's a random number generator. So you probably get the hint right now at this moment. If the question gives you a random number generator, like the word like this, it's a big hint for you to think about SRS. 23. To analyze cafeteria satisfaction, students are grouped by lunch period, and 20 students are randomly selected from each lunch period. This will be a stratified random sample because it first divides every people into different lunch period, that's different categories, and 20 students from each category have been selected, so that is a hint for stratify. 24. A mall surveyor asks anyone passing by who looks approachable to answer a few questions about their shopping experience. This will be a convenient sample because the mall surveyor only asks people who passing him. So what about people who didn't pass him? And think about the people who got in and got out from the mall every day was a lot. You cannot just use the people near you to do the sample, to do the data collection. 25. An online retailer posts a survey link on its homepage asking customers for product feedback, and results are collected from whoever clicks the link. This will be a voluntary response sample because not everyone will see the link and prefer to click it. So the data collection will also lead to bias. And that's all. That's all for the video, and those are the answers. If you haven't catch one, you can feel free to pause and take a look at them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helps you to practice different sampling techniques, and remember those will be a huge part on your MCQs for AP Stats exam, so make sure to practice them. Thank you.